We now return to Let's Play the Banner Saga. Let's continue on.
Once a strong, thriving city, the walls of Frostvellr now just keep the howling winds at bay. With luck, they'll hold out against dredge as well.
Now, I'm not a fan of this place. I'm not looking forward to the choices I will have to make. You jostle through fallow crowds of sunken faces who appear as though they've been freezing in front of Frostvellr for days. The gates are closed. You come to a stop at the bottom of the hill. This is not looking good. Why are there so many people in the fields? We can't stay outside in the open like this. Oddly finds you amongst the many refugees. Rook, I just talked to some of the women here. Nobody is being let into the city. Why? It's overrun with Varl from Blotsbalker, Greyhorn, people from Bitra, all the nearby villages. The dredge are everywhere. And the chieftain of Frostvellr has locked himself in his great hall. That's when they close the gates. When the dredge come, these hills will turn red. We have to get in there. Okay. Where else could we go? With our whole caravan? South, but Sigerholm or Bowersgard are so far away they may as well be horseborne lands. The dredge are moving south. If we keep going west, we might get out of their path. Wormtoe is half as far as Sigerholm, and full of Varl. And across the wastes. These people won't make it. I don't like any of these ideas. That's because they're all bad. There's no point talking about leaving. We have to get in there. Okay, well that settles that. I want to know more about what's going on in there. I see a lot of people gathered around the rest houses and the gates. We could find out what they know. How would we get in anyway? They closed the gate. I can get that gate open. Let's see if there's another way before we start breaking down gates. I wasn't going to break it. Just push real hard. Alright. First thing I'm going to do is get to the market. Jarl's Seal. 1 will per turn. That could actually be very useful. Studded Pommel. Knockback on strength attacks of 5. I think that has very limited use. The Tortoise Band. +2 armor on rest. Let's just go with them. With some supplies. First of all. Well, now wait a minute. I may need to buy extra if I'm going to rest here. Because we're already at low morale. Let's see what happens before we leave. Maybe I can have the option to buy some. Well, never mind. We've just bought everything he had. So that's that. Can I do anything with my heroes? Now I do have 2 new heroes. Hogan and Mogan. I guess we can read. Dang it. Hogan and his brother Mogan have gotten the same question their entire lives. You don't find many twins about, and even fewer who know how to use an axe. Hogan tends to be the more level-headed of the two, which may explain why he ended up with a wife and child. And then Mogan has pretty much the same thing until you get to... Mogan tends to be the sort to act first and think later. This may explain the scar, amongst other things. But they both have Bloody Flail and Shield Wall. So you don't really need both of them in the party, but the fact that they both have the shield ability... Because Egil has Stone Wall, which just gives him resisting damage, which is good. But having 2 Bloody Flails go off at the same time... Thing is, though, he's rank 2, so he's already got a little bit of an advantage. I don't know. If we get into trouble, I'll be given the option to come back and rearrange that. So, let's just go to the gate. You approach the gate, where hundreds of people have gathered. In the trodden, bloody space in front of the doors, several pincushion bodies lie unclaimed, as though they simply belonged there. Archers up on the walls make it clear that nobody will be getting in. Men and women below intermittently call for mercy and reason when they're not flinging stones and curses. Find out more from the crowd. You spend an hour talking to different people who all have the same story. A couple days ago, the chieftain shut himself in, closed the gates, and refused any more refugees. They've got huge stores of supplies in there too, adds one man. They're just hoarding them. Egil pulls you aside. I was following the outside of these walls, he says, and there's a water passage we could squeeze through, I think. Not the whole caravan, but if a handful of us get in, we might open the gates from the inside. Let's shout at the guards. We're from Skogar, open the gates! You shout archers, not expecting much. You get as much response as you expected. Archers up on the walls make it clear, blah blah. Ivor, did you really expect to push these gates open? I'm willing to try, grunts Ivor, despite sizing up doors that look like they could hold back an army. And when men start shooting arrows and pouring out to stop you, then you kill him, he says. You're not sure this is the most sound plan. We're not doing that. This is a terrible idea, you say. We don't even know how many are in there. Ivor folds his arms. He seems almost relieved that he didn't have to live up to his earlier boast. I guess we have to leave the gates and try something else. You leave the crowds and head back down the hill. There are a lot of people gathered around the rest houses, says Oddleaf, pointing. Maybe we can find help there, or at least make ourselves useful. Alright, let's go check out the market again. Nope. How do I trigger that? Oh, I have to rest, don't I? Waste a day of supplies. Last time I did not have to sneak in there, so I would really rather not find myself in the midst of a battlefield. You spend a whole day at the rest houses. Everyone gives you the same story. The chieftain just shut himself in his great hall and closed the gates. There are a lot of wounded people here, says Alette. We could help them. Egil pulls you aside, blah blah. Okay, we'll tend to the wounded. Alette and Oddleaf spend the day along with others in your caravan, treating wounds, most of which came from the archers at the gates. I overheard from one woman that the city has been sending carts with food around, Oddleaf tells you. Could be a way in, Ivor replies. Next time they send a cart, we bring it back in. Oddleaf protests. Aside from leading to a fight, it would probably mean no more food for the refugees. We'll wait and confront them. Keep your sword down until we need it, you tell Ivor. We'll make a deal unless they're looking for a fight. Early the next day, you spot another cart leaving the gates of the city. After they've thrown their scraps to the refugees, you approach. Stop. My friend wanted to talk with you. It's not what I wanted. Think I can guess why. If we knew there were more fighters in Varl out here, Echo might have brought you into the city. Who's Ekil? He's in charge up there. In charge of what? Better let him explain. Okay, let's go. He nods. You follow him back up to the gates, where they open the doors for you. A man clad in black approaches as you step inside. What in the depths is this? He's got the crazy eyes. Now, I have dealt with these characters before, and so I'm sort of metagaming in knowing how they will turn out. But I'm not sure if that is set in stone, so I'm not sure if new choices here are going to change what's going to happen. We'll find out. The man orders his guards to get the doors closed again before more refugees notice. You said you wanted fighters. You heard about the chieftain? We heard he's hiding out in the Great Hall. Oh, really? Think you mean hiding out in a grave? He's eating worms, if that wasn't clear. What happened in there? As soon as they heard Dredge were coming, anyone who couldn't swing an axe got one to the head. That's the short story, anyway. At least 3 clans in here warring over turf and food, and the worst are the godforsaken Varl. He eyes Ivor and shrugs with exaggeration, as if simply stating the obvious. We're in more danger here than out there? Look, I was in charge here before things went to crap. You've got some people who can fight. You've got your own Varl. That counts for something. I can keep your flock safe in the Great Hall. You fight for me, and you take back Frostvellr. I don't take sides. Too hard to tell when the good guys are becoming the bad. Fine, cut these sheep loose and watch your own asses. What do I care? All I want to do right now is get out of the damn streets. Think carefully about what you want. Okay, we'll join you. I really don't want to get into a fight, but we don't really have... I mean, if we decide to go, we're stuck in Frostvellr anyway. You might think, you know, just based on this statement, that you're just going to continue onward, but that conversation we had earlier sort of made the point that we don't have any other options. So we're staying in Frostvellr no matter what. Now, we can fend for ourselves, or we can at least have some allies. So we'll join you, for now. Good, because whatever else you were thinking would have been a bad idea. So is that the game sort of telling me this was the right choice of the 3? Ikil shouts to his men, and with the gates closed, you follow him down obscured alleys. Hope we know what we're doing. Me too. Hopefully this will be a good chance to get some renown, though. And maybe pillage some supplies from the Great Hall, but I think that's a lie. Making it up as we go, Ivor. Chapter 3. Little Did They Sleep. Heck on, we're back. Now I've got to remember this whole batch of other semi-voices that I'm doing. Basically, all of my Varl voices are just slight changes in pitch of the same gruff voice. Just to let you know, the different people. I was able to get about as many warriors from Strand as you wanted, and more weapons. Extra supplies, too. Good job, Moger. 100 Varl, 100 fighters. 200 supplies. Yeah, these guys don't have to worry about supplies, it's the other guys that do. You perk up, just now realizing Moger has been talking to you. Since Wagner died, everyone has been looking to you to make the decisions. It's exhausting. Heck on? I heard you. No, how about sorry, just tired? Go on. I was saying see, that doesn't... This dialogue didn't change at all from my previous choice there. I was saying the Varl we sent to Strand have returned. The governor gave us most of what we wanted. Good enough. Much resistance from the governor? Something. I don't think he was happy about us buying his fighters using his own money. He also insisted we take on a lackey of his to watch over his property, a man named Eric. Eric? I met him. He seemed competent enough. Wow, this is a little bit different. Regardless, the governor will have to get over it unless he wants Dredge crawling through his streets. We've put down every slag that has wandered through here while you were gone. Enough flapping of mouths, then. You're sure that wound is healed, Luden? I agree. Enough has already gone wrong. If something happens to the prince on a mission of peace, the alliance would rot. Or worse. Well, even though Wagner is dead, there will presumably still be someone in charge of the Varl. So saying there's no reason to stay is not really true. Likewise, telling him to return to Strand and go home, I'm sure that's what he'd want, but his mission would not be fulfilled. Last time I didn't really use him when he came with me, though. Oh, let's just see what he says. They're right, Luden. Return to Strand. Go home. Why? Aren't you the fabled dredge killers? How did you let them get this far south? We're not watchmen for the world. Watch your tone. If they're here, then something has gone wrong at Schlid. And you shouldn't be here. We would only be made to do this again later, and I will not suffer it all a second time. That's right, that's what he says. He comes no matter what. Either take us through the wandering road, or do your job and slaughter some dredge. Luden turns abruptly with a scowl. He stamps back to his ring of tents and followers. Wandering road's not an option with this many. I could crush that boy's skull with one hand. If Luden won't be deterred, you'll have to deal with it. Don't let Luden get to you. Let's go. I'm sick of looking at this dump. What do I tell the warriors, Hakan? Well, if we're gonna go do this, we're gonna be aggressive. Which means that I might have to take choices that I don't want to. But see, to roleplay Hakan for a moment, he seems like the kind of guy that would just sort of get in there and get things done. I don't think the cautious approach is something he would do, and not stopping until Schlid is retaken, that single-mindedness would get us killed. Although I do have the supplies, so it's not like I have to worry about it. We could just double time. Last time I played through this, though, I don't even think I went to Schlid. I wish I could see the map where I knew where it was. Alright, let's bolster the warriors. Tell them we cover the mountainside in dredge bodies. Good. Give the word and we'll set off. Alright. Well, I guess first we need to talk to some people. Let's talk to Ubin. You knew him well, didn't you? Faulkner? No. Well, I don't know. I remember him. Always rushing around with some important business, but I never knew him. Never got a chance to talk much. Longer than I did, in any case. I suppose so. When he spoke, Varl listened, I knew that. I could use help there. The Scrivener leans back, considering the sentiment. I've seen worse. They respect you for your ability to swing an axe. See, we need to be a big, brave Viking. They need to respect you for your actions. But you're not talking to the right Varl. Ogre's got some skill there. Most I can do is hold a quill. I heard you were a terror in your day. Do you know how old I am? Dare I ask? I'm competing, you know. Nobody knows how old we Varl can get, naturally. There's one by the name of Snorri. He's got a few years on me, just hunkers in Grofheim collecting rhyme. Bastard might actually beat me. Another one named Krumir is close, I think, but the addled son of a bitch still welcomes a fight. I'll probably be off before I am, although... The Scrivener gestures around him as if to remind you of the current situation. You chuckle. Anyway, point is, what difference does it make? I'm just a delivery baron for Jorundur now. Can't remember half what I've done. Hence the journal? Hence? Don't get fancy on my behalf, Hakan. Okay, I won't. What are you always putting down in that journal? How do you mean? What do I write? I write what happens. I've got a banner in Arborang for that, you know. You mean the long banner? Yes, the Menders wove up something that writes its own history. You want my opinion? I don't trust it. No? It tells a broad story. I think there's some value in the narrow. Whose story does it write? Mine? Theirs? Luden's? Gods forbid? Ha, you relic. The gods have been dead a long time. Oh, have they? Old habits, I suppose. What do you suppose happened to the sun? Gods, how should I know? Never seen something like this before. Are you worried? Some of the Varl in the caravan think the world's coming to an end. Others think it's the best thing that could happen. No more black months. I'll take it. If it's the end, I'm ready. What about the rest of us? To the depths with you. Ha! Get some rest. Always more marching to do. I've hooved more hills than a horseborn with a grudge. Don't worry about me. I'd ask how you're dealing with Wagner's death, but I already know the answer. Do you? Steady old Mogr, which is good. I know most of these Varl, but they're not under my command. They came to follow Wagner. You want the truth? I wouldn't want to be in your position either. Anything you can tell me about the caravan? Throw together this many Varl, half of them want to hit each other, the rest want to be left alone. Anyone I should keep an eye on? There's a couple of clan leaders trying to show off for each other. Not a big deal, I've got it under control. The fighters we just got from Strand aren't bad, but they're unruly. Give it a few days. And there are a few moaning about fighting for you instead of Wagner. Those are the ones to worry about. What about Luden's men? They don't want to hear anything from me, I know that. Any problems? Could be. Luden's pet Varl is named Bersi. I'm not sure where he came from or what his deal is. Bastard knows how to fight, but there's something I don't like about him. His girl in red is scary too. Yrsa. She's probably the best fighter Luden's got, to be honest. I've overheard some of the Varl call her the witch. Why? The flaming arrows, I think. It's a good trick, but the fire upsets our Varl more than the drudge. Still doesn't make much sense. Witch? They're not scholars, Hakan. I think they're mostly just afraid of her. That makes more sense. Don't let her find out. Haven't you ever wanted to be in command? More than I am? Any more rope and I'd hang myself. I doubt that. I forget, you weren't around back then. At one point I had more rope. I hung myself. So no, I'm not interested in command. It's all yours. Thanks. You think we're walking into a death trap? This many Varl? No, we should be all right. Things could get rough, though. I don't like being the one to send Varl to their deaths. I like worrying about myself, and that's the extent of it. Who would have expected Wagner to drop like that to a couple of slag? I'm still wondering what happened. He had hundreds of dead slag to his name. I don't get it. Just happens sometimes. No big moment. I'm sure it surprised him even more than us. Although I have to wonder. Nah, never mind. Anyway, I'll worry about the warriors. You worry about not doing something stupid. That's asking a lot. What were you holding back about Wagner? I'd rather not say, Hakan. Why not? It's the kind of thing that gets stuck in your head, and you need a clear one. It's better if you let me worry about it. If I'm going to be the leader... Sounds important. Tell me. How did Wagner die? He ran into Dredge. Wasn't expecting it. When we found him, he was lying face down, like he was struck from behind. Did he really get taken down by some random slag? Who else was there? You think Luden? He probably didn't, but... Damn it. We should keep an eye on that bastard. If you see anything else, tell me. I will. Let's get back to it. Let me know if you need anything else. Will. Alright, well, we're in good spirits. Let's check out the heroes. Hakan's looking at a promotion. We'll go ahead and do that. I'll raise that. I'll raise it twice. Although, maybe I should raise this. Now, let's give him a really high armor. Hakan is something of a legend in Varl culture. When he met Wagner, it was during the Second Great War, in which the two became known for cutting a swath through Dredge where others were struggling just to stay alive. Wagner was always the charismatic leader, but there was no question about which of the two would win in a fight. Smoger has nothing. Gunnulf is close. Oh, I was going to read. Moger's an old hand in Varl culture, long on the front line of the fight against the Dredge. He's had the occasional brush with leading a clan of his own, but eventually settled into commanding Wagner's personal army of Varl warriors, and is highly respected amongst them. Gunnulf. When Ubin became the Varl king's tax collector, he was given an entourage of bodyguards to help transport gold collected from Hraun. Gunnulf is the only one from the original group still alive, and for good reason. Okay. Eirik is coming along. Eirik is the guy who gets stuff done for the governor of Strand, though for a man with a heavy responsibility, he seems to have an awful lot of freedom in his methods. Plenty of warring clans within Strand have tried to take him down, none have succeeded. Eventually he earned himself the nickname the Iron Turtle. And yeah, he's got Rally, which is kind of a useless thing, but whatever. Okay, well, where are we going now? Schlid. Schlid is up here. One of the forts built by the Varl in their relentless push to hold back the Dredge. While that role would eventually be replaced by Stonehorn to the north, Schlid stood for a long time as one of the few strongholds keeping the Dredge at bay. Okay. So, I will have to remember that, because you do get a choice here rather quickly to go somewhere else. Let's look at Hraun. The long snowfields, tall mountains, and sparse woods of Hraun used to be the gathering place of Dredge during the Second Great War. As Varl pushed them ever northward, they took the land and settled it themselves, preferring the cold expanses over the warm, busier lands of men to the south. Now the territory is almost entirely Varl. I think I read Frostvellr last time. Okay. Well, this wasn't an episode with a lot of action in it, but it did set up some very important story points. But the video has been going on for a good enough amount of time, so I'm going to end it here. I'll see you next time.